What's up, blessed ones? You are now blaring the podcast. Brought to you by AB1 Studios. Thank you for your time. Listening. You wanna know something else, blessed ones? Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, to all the women, grandmothers, baby moms, sisters, anybody who's nurturing, taking care of children. I like to always encourage that every day is Mother's Day. Every day is Father's Day. When you're doing what you're supposed to do, when you're doing what you have to do, it is every day. But let's make today even more special. Now, I was going to wait until I was able to establish, a team, some co-hosts, because I have been intention to have a show with my siblings, all my mother's children. But I felt like at least sharing something a little bit. For those of you who are familiar with stars and power and the universe, I know a lot of you already know about the final 2 episodes that was not released on Stars, but released on the internet on YouTube, episode 9 and 10 of season 3 of Ghost Power Book 2. And I must say that, we all love Mary. We all know she plays Monet on this show. And despite it being a show, it's like she played one hell of a role on there. And without me doing a full spoiler alert for those of you who haven't, put in a cheat code, Monet is probably the worst mother on television. Just as far as I can see, because there's a few shows that I do watch, but Monet is on Demon Time. Like I said, we're just, it's just episode 9 and 10. So, even without even exposing what has happened on those last 2 episodes, we all know, and I'm sure I would hope to know that, it's unfortunate. It's sadly, there are some mothers out here who are really Monets. But one thing that is just kind of like, wow, it makes you think wow, it was she really she was out here just out here on that type of time where, you get your children's father killed. Not only did you get your father's children killed, you tried to cover it up, and then you had to kill the dude to retrace your steps, and it was just kind of like, I mean, that was slick, but it was just kind of like, it was nuts. Like, I can't believe that, how good of a role Mary played with that, because I mean, that just makes for good entertainment and good television. But aside from that, I mean, this isn't really anything that is news, because the same thing would happen with raising Canaan and Rock. Like, she tried to, like, she even not only lied to, Canaan about his father, but as you know, in season one, she tried to get him smacked too. Tried to get him to smack her own dad, his own dad. So I just wanted to, kind of just touch bases on that, because it's like there are some mothers out here who is just crappy. I mean, we have to respect, those who do what they do, but I mean, there are certain things that I do stand on. And I mean, every woman deserves respect. Every woman deserves love and care. But it's like, what is worthy of being called a mom and wishing them a happy Mother's Day? Because, there's a lot of people out here who was really, untraditional. They like, we can't sit here and keep celebrating these holidays and, Thanksgiving and Christmas and everything. But, we out here celebrating Mother's Day too and Father's Day. And that's one of the things that people really don't acknowledge, because that too is also an American holiday. It's one of those traditional holidays. And like I say, every day is Mother's Day. Every day is Father's Day when you're out here doing what you gotta do. I don't want to be preachy. I don't want to be woke. I don't want to sit here and be, offensive or defensive or anything. I just want to point out certain things. And it's almost like there are some parents out here who are really just not like worth the sperm wasted. You know what I mean? Despite how you feel about your baby mama, baby daddy, I feel like if they're doing what they need to do, doing their best, taking the steps to be there for their children, they deserve some type of, acknowledgement. But like, not those who are just out here not taking their children into consideration, just out here living. Because I do know some terrible moms out there. And that was the thing, like, despite what Monet or Rock or and I says television, but these are just a reflection. Art imitates life. So despite what, type of mother Monet is, like, she does rap for kids. I mean, she could be a little bit selfish, but I mean, she do some dirty, foul stuff. But she I could say she's a mom. She's a mother. She can be a terrible mother at times, but like, her way of raising her children is her way of toughening them up. We're taught we're we're taught how we teach. We teach what we're taught. So I mean, she got to do what she got to do. But also, another point that I want to point out on this nice Mother's Day is that people say you only get one mother. And for some of that is true. But I've been blessed enough to get a village of mothers. Because, I mean, there's nothing's really technical, but, I have had my mom, my stepmom, my aunts, my grandmother, even those distant mothers like my brothers from another's, and even there's been a lot of women in my life who I consider another mother to me. And just the fact of just being there and really caring and helping. And again, it can, and some people might look at it as, just being a good giving person, maybe just being, you know, very helpful. But, that's what mothers are. Mothers are nurturing, mothers are compassionate, mothers are loving and giving. And it's like, and that's part of motherhood. Same thing goes for fathers, but it's like when I look at Mother's Day and Father's Day, I look at the people who's held it down, like the people who've been, been in those positions, who's played that role, you know, in the lives of others that's unselfish. Even like for me, like I have told my manager Happy Mother's Day, even though she's not a mother per se, but she's a mother figure, and my in the work field. And I mean, sometimes it can be like, well, they're doing their job, but it's like there's certain people who just have that aura about them. That's why I try my best to show my appreciation any way I can, any way that I can acknowledge and encourage and go back. Because, like I said, going back to my siblings, at least me, I was trying to set something up to talk about different, shows and movies and things we was watching. And I mean, that still can be in the works. I still plan on doing that. But, the show must go on. And that's kind of the whole point, the show must go on. And I said this before, like, Father's Day is Father's Day. Mother's Day is Mother's Day. Parents' Day is Parents' Day, etc., etc. So one thing I would say about a mother is that even if they don't have help, even if they're not getting assistance, the show must go on. They are picking up that extra weight and carrying it on their back so their children can have something, so their children can want for nothing. Like, I don't think y'all realize just how strong and powerful mothers are. Some might call them superwomen, some may call them Wonder Woman, but they are goddesses for real. That's why I take it serious when I say Happy Mother's Day, because it's like, even if you didn't give birth to a child, and even if not, because not, I don't believe that all women are meant to be mothers, but I do feel like all women were made to nurture, care, and to be able to carry and be fruitful. So it's like, even for those women who might just be aunts, who might just be sisters, even inspiring mothers, it's like, I always like to just call it Women's Day, but it's like Mother's Day. It's like, hey, you got that aura, you got that attitude. So I say that to say this last one, because all this stuff ties in, is that everybody has different ways of doing things, raising their children, it's not always right. Only Lord knows. And despite the struggle, despite the hardships, despite the difficulties, I just want to enlighten and encourage those of you who have mothers, those of you who are mothers. The show must go on. You have to do your best, but the show must go on. Like, no matter whether you having some drama with the other parent, some issue with the other parent, like you don't have nobody to help you and support you. Like, you alone have that power by the grace of God. So really, when I talk about Mary Plan Monet and power and these, this is just certain characters that is like of recent, because it's like their impact to the culture, especially the black culture. It's like, okay, some of us look at them and it's like, hey, they're mothers and they're doing what they gotta do to protect their children, even if it's like, again, it's terrible. That's like, that's terrible parents, and you're a terrible mother to, do what they do, but it's still at the same time, you're doing something. Like, it's, even if it's selfish, it's not. Now, you might be doing things your way to help your children and to kind of be there, like, for your family. It's selfish. It can be selfish the way that you might be raising your children or treating your children, but it's selfish in a way where you are doing what you feel is right, or feeling the best way that you can do this. And that's why I always say, hey, everybody has a different journey. I might not agree with it, but I'm not gonna knock. I'm gonna still feel like, hey, that's terrible. There's other way, but that's just still my take on it. That's just the way that's just me saying, there's another way, but if this is the best way you can do it, then so be it. I mean, there's other things that I look at, but I just really just wanted to share some encouragement. So if you are out here raising your children and by yourself and you don't know what to do, don't be Monet. Don't be out here trying to catch a lick because you're emotional. If you know better, do better. But if you don't know better, at least try to keep it legal. Don't lie to your children thinking you're going to protect them. Tell them the truth. But I just really want to thank my mothers, Darlene, Andrea, my, the other mothers in my lives, like my bros' mothers and my friends' mothers. I was actually just at a cookout, and I seen some of my friends, and I was just saying how big that a lot of the children had gotten, and how I didn't recognize. That's why it's like time flies. Like, time, sometimes you be almost forgetting just how busy you become, just how much things have changed, like when you're not around. Because I wasn't around a lot of my friends, after I got married and had kids myself, I was around to a degree, but it's like they didn't have children, and they didn't have children. It's like, oh, who's this? Like, and the only way you know them, recognize them, is because you see the other one, and only way you can kind of tell who's who for the ones who were still young is seeing the older one. Like, I know one of my friends' child was so big. I was like, I thought they was the brother, because it's like, man, they big. But it's like, it's a blessing because not everybody has siblings. Not everybody are blessed to have both parents in their life. I'm a product of divorced. My ex-wife's a product of divorce. A lot of the people that I know are products of divorce, or probably like a blended family. But, we still turn out to be fine. But I think I did notice that there has been some repetitiveness of our parents. So it's almost kind of like, if you're a mother and you have 4 children, sometimes more than likely your child is gonna, like, especially like your daughter might end up with 4, maybe even more. So, um, I'm going to end this episode, and I really just want to say that I love you all. I'll get back to y'all on the other show. But if you are watching Power and familiar with Power, I need to look at these episodes. Because I tell you, like I say this all the time, social media is undefeated, and I already told you that it's undefeated because Stars did not release episode 9 Friday, so they said, kiss my ass, I'm going to go ahead and just upload it. I don't know if it was 50, I don't know if it was just someone who had access to it, but those last 2 episodes, man, like I said, this was a don't miss season. Like, it didn't miss. So, for those of you who's watching it, just go ahead and cheat. I ain't gonna do the spoiler, but I'm just telling you, like, oh my God, I can't wait till season 4. And I'm hoping that Amara does come back now, because it's like, this is kind of one of those things that's like, what are you gonna do? Because now that Amara didn't say he will come back, and people were sitting here talking about how, he wasn't dead, they didn't show the body in the contract, because people don't realize that when you're when you have a contract and your contract ends, and you're not replaceable, because Amara is not replaceable. It's like they're not even really going to show the body anyway, because it's like he's not in contract to show it. Like, they could have did a body double. I mean, that probably could have worked, but it's still kind of like there's a possibility. But it's like, I don't know if, I don't know. I'm actually going to have to look at the last season of Power again, just so I can kind of see, like, how does this work? How is this going to work? But I'm telling you, season 4, yo, like, I'm ready to even put my little writing skills to the test. Because, the last 2 episodes was like that. But as always, y'all stay blessed, stay prosperous, productive, and positive. This is Player Kansas Care Bear, and I'm out.